Hey guys, it's Dan from Talk to Dan. So we help young people aged 16 to 25 break into media. We do it through recruitment consultancy. Yeah, you're watching Love for the Arts. Make sure you watch this documentary. There's some really insightful things that you're gonna get from this. Yeah, I've enjoyed my time. Yeah, so my name's Dan, Daniel Acheampong. I'm the founder of Talk to Dan, and I've been running Talk to Dan since 2017. So what we do, we help young people aged 16 to 25-year-olds break into media. We do it through recruitment and consultancy. So we actually help young people get into different roles, so work experience, freelance roles, apprenticeship internships. And we also work with young people on their soft skills, so looking at CV writing, networking, stuff like application interview techniques. So these are soft skills that young people do need to break into the industry to actually get to that next step of their career. And we've been doing this for, it's now 5 years. I've loved every moment of it. Helped a lot of young people in the journey, even being part of your journey as well, which has been amazing. I think it's the whole thing of you just don't know what's coming next because there are young people from all walks of life, someone could be a school leaver, a uni grad, someone that's not in education, employment or training. So you're getting a different feel every day, someone can start from grassroots or someone at midway. And I think that's what's amazing with what I do, what the team does. That's mainly what Talk to Dan's all about. When I started Talk to Dan, the idea came to me in 2016. So let's say mid-2016 in the summer. And even before I started it, when I was actually in the industry, I didn't know how to write a CV, I didn't know how to network, I didn't know how to connect the dots, create a contacts book. But once I started to understand all these things, and I was soaking everything up like a sponge, what happened is people were asking for advice, people were talking to me, people were, sort of asking, how do you do that? Events, how did you connect here, how do you do that? So it felt like I started Talk to Dan before I started Talk to Dan, if that makes sense. What I wanted to do is create something that was going to be memorable, roll off the tongue, something that's going to stay in the room, most importantly, and something that's actually going to be reactive, right? So, and creates a story. So obviously I've got the whole kit out today, branded. But with Talk to Dan, when it started, it was a matter of making it playful, reactive, and new beginnings. That's what it's about. Black and yellow is the brand, but the ear, obviously, the two within the ear is sort of playful, kind of gives that creative kind of feel. And obviously the ear is listening to my story. This is where I started, and obviously for me with personal experience, I started out, and then I was like, I started out, didn't know where to start, didn't know how to actually build a network, and I think that's one of the biggest things I've been able to do from learning from other people, willingness to learn, and all those sort of things. So that's how the name kind of came together and how we sort of branched out to make it what it is today, a recruitment and consultancy agency within media. To create the business model came from my brother, Chris. He really gave me that business model where it was like, okay, bro, you're getting people into media, so you're recruiting and you're giving them advice, so you're consulting. And I was like, well, don't give me that name, I'm not a recruitment consultant. I didn't even like the name. Do you know what I mean? So I think when you look at all this being persistent and that sort of stuff, I had to kind of accept and look at it myself and say, actually, this is what I am doing. So being persistent, I had to believe in this and be like, yeah, this is what Talk to Dan is. It's a recruitment consultancy agency in media. But we're bridging the gap, actually, we're bridging the gap between that employer and young person. So being persistent was hard, difficult, man, but you have to really understand how much you want this. People are out there waiting on you, relying on you, like, when's that next job coming out? What's the next event? I've had people ask me, so you have to really be a role model. You have to be able to be relatable, a role model, just ensure you're doing everything you can to be the best for that young person. Ideally, that's what it's about. When it gets difficult, it's like, okay, what's next? I always just say this, at the end of the day, if it gets difficult, and it can be difficult now, you don't know what state someone's in, go back to why you started. That's what always helps me. And why I started, talk to Dan, was all from personal experience. I once was going through those problems. So if I stop now, today, I haven't achieved the goal. I haven't achieved my dream. I haven't even touched I haven't even touched outside yet, because that young person that's grassroots, that's stepping out of uni, wants to understand and learn how to learn all these amazing skills to actually bring to the industry. How can I just stop? I can't just stop. I have to keep going and be motivational and be inspiring, but also most importantly, keep creating new content, new ideas. Consistency is so important, and this is what I teach. Nicole, I teach her so much about the consistency side of things, the social media. We have to always make sure that we're on top of our game and making sure that we are getting out there. We're going to have something shared tonight, we're going to have something shared on Thursday, something on Friday. It's not about posting every day, but it's just about making sure the content you're putting out is relevant for, young people, The lockdown was very difficult, and I say that's probably one of the most difficult times for me. When lockdown, I done an event, right, just before the lockdown in February, and I was like, no one's turned up. 2 people turned up. Acheampong, I remember the 2 people because I gave them a consultation after on their CV, and I was like, look, I'm going to give a consultation on the CV, turned up, so on and so forth. We had about 40 odd people subscribe to that. And I said, that hit me. I was like, only 2 people showed up. And I was like, I'm still going to do this event. I'm still going to do it. Why not? Why am I going to do it? And I think that with lockdown, it just became very difficult to do anything. You got all these things happening. People are at home, lockdown, on the phone, thinking, what do you do? Government saying that, let's lock it off. Let's lock off the creative industries. Okay, go work in Tesco's, go work in this. No, nothing against anyone who goes to Tesco's or Sainsbury's. You go to Tesco's today, after this finishes, Sainsbury's, whatever it is. You look outside Sainsbury's, you look outside Tesco's. What do they have? Designs. What do they have? Posters, advertisement. Who makes those things? Content creators, graphic designers, animators. All these amazing creatives. And they wanted to get rid of the creative industry and say, guys, just for now, let's step back and do you know how demoralizing that is to young people? When I actually looked at that, I was like, the government really don't know what they're doing. It's like, obviously lockdown was difficult for all creators because it's like, how do you be creative? When you're not really moving around, but you're maybe you don't have the resources, of course I've got Adobe Premiere Pro at home, I've got After Effects, I can do a bit of editing and really, but not everyone's got access to that because you've got to pay for it, right? But the government's got to look in a way where maybe there's schemes that they could have put together where it's like workshops and training and little things that could have slowly got young people back to basics instead of saying, oh, let's just cut it off, because listen, the world needs a creative industry. Everything that you see around you is creative if you think about it. You come in here, you see even this design, right? Architect would make that design. All these little things. You need the creative industry. You can't just lock it off. It's a very big business. But I think personally, and for years I've always said this because I've freelanced for so long, I think we're underappreciated.
What's your intake of more creators to help and support each other through collaborative work?
Yeah, I think that needs to happen. I think there are slowly those spaces happening. So you've got things like, obviously businesses use stuff like Slack. There's Slack out there. Slack is sort of like I say WhatsApp for business, but not in that. It's more professional. So obviously you've got teams, and obviously the team can actually just be in all the conversation at once and then sharing their work and all that sort of stuff. You've got things like obviously Google Drive and stuff like that, but I think everyone needs to be able to collaborate in a way. You've got WhatsApp groups as well. I think everyone needs to collaborate in a way where, oh look, I'm working on this. What are you guys doing? Any chance you can help out on this, and there is a small budget, let's work around it. So the element of networking is so key, and I think people are very prideful. Obviously, of course, when you know your worth, know your worth. I'm not gonna work for free. It doesn't work like that. When I started, I was working for free, but if someone's like, oh yeah, Dan, can you come in to do this? Got to just talk to it, because I know my worth. But people need to know where their place is, or they need to know where they're starting out. Be hungry, go out and, tap into the minds of people. If you're not as confident or you're sort of shying away from things, sort of think about how you kind of come across in a way where, you can kind of be like, this is my objective and this is how I want to come across. So maybe you can do it through online instead of doing face to face. Like you can basically be part of online groups and stuff. You can see what's going on. You can approach an event with a friend, like to kind of build your confidence. That's what I used to do when I was starting out. I was very proactive. When I was young, I was hungry. I just wanted to do it. I never see myself in this position where I'm running my own business. Eventually, possibly, because I was sort of given advice from time to time and all that sort of stuff. But I felt as if like my story was my story, and I needed to continue it and build what I've built. Talk to that, And yeah, I think people need to get out more. Being on LinkedIn is not enough. Mm-hmm. Sounds mad, but being on LinkedIn is not enough. I've got a LinkedIn, 500 plus connections. And I'm saying it to myself as well, being on LinkedIn is not enough. You've got to get out there and go to events. You've got to, it's not saying I'll go one event per week. Go to events that mean something to you. You know what I mean? Like get out there, meet people, connect. One thing that I learned is that it's like if you don't ask, you don't get. As much as harsh as it sounds. But it may be a thing that, oh man, I'm not too sure when I ask that question. It's a bit silly questions still be asked. You could be the guy or the girl that asks the most silliest question in the room as you think it is, but then everyone that was in there wanted to actually answer that question. Ask questions. You can find us on socials, Twitter, so it's talk_to_Dan. On Twitter it's talk_to_Dan_. On Facebook just talk to Dan. And our website, www.talktodan.co.uk. That's where you can find us. And any young person that is interested in media, wanting to fix their CV, maybe they're trying networking or interview application techniques, branding, online presence, again, they can talk to Dan. You know far more well than me, but companies as well that are looking for diverse talent. So this is a company or even like individuals looking for young people. We have a wide, diverse pool of young people, that are ready to work, from content creators to graphic designers to filmmakers to makeup artists, and the list goes on. We're just building an amazing pool of young people that want to get involved and work and actually, just create that journey for themselves, really. So yeah.